This is the submarine in back of me, and we're about to board, and our phones will be confiscated shortly. So here's the last video.
And still to come, the Met Gala hits the red carpet. The Insider takes you to the still much talked about fashion event in New York City. That's later on.
And what is it like to live on a U.S. Navy submarine? A CBS 4 News photojournalist did it, and he takes you underwater in less than 10 minutes.
Well, it is Fleet Week here in South Florida, a very special time when servicemen and women get in some rest and relaxation and service to our community.
So what is life like for them when they are out at sea? CBS 4 photojournalist Rafael Murciano takes you aboard a submarine for a look at life underwater.
Submerge of ship to 155 feet, pilot. I can go pilot on the 1MC, dive.
Dive.
All vents open.
California's 8th Virginia-class submarine, most modern fast-attack submarine in the United States Navy.
300 feet.
What we just finished demonstrating was the ship's ability to take large angles and operate at high speeds and large rudder turns, turning the ship in as quick a fashion as possible.
100 at 400 feet.
We operate the ship regularly in training to be able to be prepared for any condition and any challenges we might face.
So right now what we're doing is we're filling the torpedo tube with water from the water-round torpedo tank. Normally we actually fire the torpedo from control, but this is a way we can actually locally do it. Shooting a water slug from torpedo tube 2 in 3, 2, 1. There you have it.
It's a full 24-hour day. There's not just something going on all 24 hours, there's multiple things going on all 24 hours, and we try and take every opportunity to use each day we get at sea.
If we have a lot of extra people on board, there's not enough racks for everybody, so some people will actually have to share beds. So what they'll do is, between the 3 rotations, 3 guys will be, 1 from each rotation will be assigned 2 different beds. And so that one guy is always up working, the other 2 are off. When they get up to go on their rotation, the person that comes off then will move into the empty bed. 500 feet.
Couldn't be more pleased with the team I have on board California. They work extremely well together. If you can imagine taking 130 plus individuals and putting them together for over 6 months with no break from each other. It's really a brotherhood that forms on board.
We put out really good food. It's very consistent, good quality. The crew always gives us feedback. And if we do have a bad meal, we try to improve on it the best way we can any way possible. We are the heart and soul because without good food or just good meals in general, it makes it hard to do the job.
100 at 600 feet.
We're constantly looking for newer and newer technology.
Thanks to Ralph for that great video. You want to see more of what it's like to live in a submarine? Head on over to the local section of our website, cbsmiami.com.
Craig Setzer joining us now. We're seeing rain out there already, and
Sub would be a good place to be in some parts of South Florida right now. Let's show you what's going on.
Take the slack out line.
Very well, Cobb.
Ready to fire up the
Okay. Is everyone's?
that's kind of bringing the crowd. We can see.
That's a cool shot, huh?
Is it gonna bother if he rests his arm on the back of your chair? Do you think, or that would be?
No, I won't even touch it. So I could roll on this right now. It's just a shot of the face.
No pressure.
No pressure.
What's the duration of the process overall?
Surface guys. So our ships dive. There's a problem. So you can't get this laptop.
Okay.
And you can't get above the tops of these screens.
Right.
And this thing. But I'm gonna stand here to block this screen a little bit.
That screen and this screen are good.
These screens, yeah.
Okay.
These screens are good. Not that screen. Nothing above the tops of the screens.
Okay.
Sorry.
Time, sir, the ship is rigged for dive with the following exceptions. Torpedo tube 2, shutter door, either dual indications. Missile tube 5 through 16, hatch indications. And MFD 6 for missile tube 8. The ship is operating in water we own submerged. Main ballast tank vents are manned. Forward main ballast tanks have been rigged for dive, verified by the QAO. Aft main ballast tanks have been rigged for dive, verified by the EA. A running comp has been utilized. The ship is clear of the 2000 Zulu ZBO. Quartermaster sounding. Very well, Quartermaster. I intend to submerge the ship to 155.
Very well, so that submerged ship make depth 155 feet.
Submerge the ship, make my depth 155 feet, I sir. Pilot, submerge the ship to 155 feet.
Submerge the ship to 155 feet, pilot. Go pilot on the 1MC, dive, on 2 blasts and dive alarm, dive.
On 1MC, dive, 2 blasts, dive, dive.
Dive. Open aft vents. Open the forward vents.
Bending aft. Bending forward.
All vents open. Dive.
Very well, Capal.
Four, 4-6, 4-8, 5-0, 5-2, 5-4, 5-5 feet,
Third forward vents shut and aft vents.
Very well, Capal.
5-6, 5-8,
All vents shut.
Very well, Capal.
6-0, 6-2, 6-4,
Anyone who will watch, lower number
6-6, 6-8, 7-0, 7-2, 7-4, 7-6, 7-8, 8-0, 8-2, 8-4, 8-6, 8-8, 9-0, 100 feet, deep depth gauge is tracking.
Very well, pilot.
Up next, ship's taking less than 3 degrees. Cycling, I intend to cycle main ballast tank vents, 1 group time, aft vents first.
Very well, pilot.
Alright. Cycle main ballast tank vents, 1 group time, aft vents first.
Cycle main ballast tank.
1 group at a time, so we're going to have group first, right? Aft vents open.
Very well, Capal.
Open the forward vents.
Very well, Capal.
They're pretty senior guys. We kind of older class in our ship, and it's actually the more senior guys. It's a lot of like
Very well, sonar.
Oh, you see the
Very well, sonar.
this is great.
300
great
feet.
shot.
Full pilot, I already have 400 feet.
Very well, pilot. Very well, sonar.
Locking the bow planes.
Beautiful.
Very well,
2 younger sailors sitting here manually moving the planes back and forth to control the depth to make sure we've maintained the depth. But
I mean, as soon as I get my interview, I can probably film finish.
Offset crescent 155 to the right, 10 degrees from mortar course. 500 feet. Onward have 600 feet.
We're off out. 071 faded from the law. Last bearing.
600 feet.
071.
Bending aft. Bending forward.
All that's open.
Dive.
Very well, Copilot.
Five feet.
That's Corvette, shut it half fast.
Very well, Copilot.
5'6". 5'8".
All back shut.
Very well, Copilot.
6'0". 6'2". 6'4".
Head window awash. Lowering number 2 scope. Down.
6'8". 7'0". 7'2". 7'4". 7'6". 7'8". 8'0". 8'2". 8'4". 8'6". 8'8". 9'0".
We don't normally do this, but this is fun.
Oh yeah, you don't want me in shot.
Are we all like arms crossed on here? Whatever.
You could talk amongst yourselves.
The smooth criminal.
The weight right there is also moving the best as
Wow.
well.
Wow. It's rough, isn't it? 1.5.
Man, they weren't kidding.
Hey, Steve, I thought of a tease.
1.7. I really hope we're doing 2.5. I can't.
1.8. That's 1.8. Yep. 1.9.
Oh, got it.
Got it.
Got it.
All right.
Look at them. Look at them.
1.9. There we go. 2-0. It's 2-0 up.
The ship uses this dive and rise should an emergency ever.
Give them their legs.
So
Can
if
you do
we
a running
have
shot?
if we're bringing on water,
The ship uses this dive and rise should an emergency ever happen.
To get out of it?
At the bottom. Hey, we're not doing a team PT, are we?
No.
Oh, come on.
I wish. It would hurt it.
Please.
We should do one for them. I don't think we obviously won't, but we should.
This is so insane.
The next one we go up is going to be steep.
You ever seen the
Right.
video of like a submarine
that.
like surfacing out of the water, like just jumping?
Yeah, jumping
in
out like
Yeah,
a,
that's
like a
not normal. We don't normally do that.
You want to leave like this.
Yeah, I mean, 4 of them were in the last 2 years.
That's crazy.
We're there?
We're there.
Right now we're 650 feet below. Is this? 650 feet below water, the bizarre safety exercise that's part of everyday Navy life. Right now, we're 650 feet below water, the bizarre safety exercise that's part of everyday Navy life.
I wish I had my bowling shoes on. That'd be sweet right now. Hey, all these trains. Look, we're coming out of it.
Style, you know, cabining the front of the table and sort of pass the stuff around, and by rank you're kind of down the line. So supply officer, the guy in charge of the meal, sits where Barry's sitting right there. So. What were you gonna say, Barry?
No.
Oh.
So at the end of a 4-month tour, you're eating just as well as the first day.
Okay, what is this room for?
This room is internal countermeasures. So we have the ability to launch countermeasures out of these tubes. We use that so if there was some sort of torpedo launched against us, we could employ a countermeasure. I would go out there, and its purpose is to distract the oncoming torpedo.
And go for it.
Okay, so now we'll come into our machinery room. So back in the engine room, we have the reactor and a bunch of seawater piping and systems like that. Up board, we have a smaller version of that condensed, where basically houses our atmosphere control equipment. So because we drive around below the water line, we have to make our own oxygen, clean our own oxygen, send bad stuff like hydrogen, carbon dioxide overboard. So we have equipment on board that does this. We also have our diesel engine with a generator attached to it in case that our primary source of electricity or power goes down, which it rarely does, but if it does, we have a backup diesel generator, so what we can do is come to the surface and snorkel to be able to run that and power the ship. We have 2 batteries on board that also cover that temporary downtime between the primary source of power and the diesel generator coming up and running. So for our weapons, we have 4 torpedo tubes. You'll see 2 here on the right or starboard side, and then 2 on the left side, on the port side of the ship. So these tubes, basically the way it works is this door unlocks, opens outboard. The weapon behind you, you'd see, would rotate at an angle inboard, and then the weapon would slide into the tube. Rammer comes out, door shuts behind it, locks, flood down, equalize it with sea pressure. Outer doors will come open, and the weapon will come out.
We get rid of carbon dioxide, so we also need to replenish oxygen. So we do it with this machine as an oxygen generator. Basically, we just take water and we split it into hydrogen and oxygen. We take the oxygen, put it in the atmosphere, and we breathe it, and we dispose of the hydrogen. So I mean, that's it simply. I mean, we clean, purify, and replenish the atmosphere, and we can do this virtually forever.
My name's Commander Eric Sager, P-R-I-C-S-A-G-E-R. I'm the commanding officer of USS California.
Talk to us a little bit, a brief overview of this ship. We've seen it the last day. It's an amazing piece of equipment.
Yeah, California's 8th Virginia-class submarine, most modern fast attack submarine in the United States Navy. The submarine's about 5 years old, commissioned 5 years ago, and we exercise the full spectrum of peacetime and wartime mission area. I've been in command for about a year. Most of the crew has been here for a couple years. We change out crew members about 30% per year as the cycle goes and personnel transfer from the ship and come to the ship. We're in the middle right now of preparing for the ship's next deployment. The ship made the first maiden deployment for California last year, and we're getting ready to execute our next deployment in the coming months. Right now we're honored to host you guys on board and looking forward to Broward County Navy Days in Fort Lauderdale coming up, and shortly after that we'll be heading home to Connecticut.
Maybe you can talk to us very briefly on some of the maneuvers and some of the angles and dangles that we did tonight. How does that play into the safety and security of the ship?
Yeah, so what we just finished demonstrating was the ship's ability to take large angles and operate at high speeds and large rudder turns, turning the ship in as quick a fashion as possible, exercising the ability to do so in any possible scenario where we might need to rapidly change the conditions that we're operating in. This applies to both wartime and peacetime. We operate the ship regularly in training to be able to be prepared for any condition and any challenges we might face. What you saw from the angles and dangles that we took today was just a demonstration of that. We do that quite frequently for training for the crew to make sure that we stay in peak performance, ready to take on any challenge that comes our way. And, the crew loves to do that because it's an opportunity to operate the ship, and any opportunity we get to operate the ship is great.
And it seems like there's always something to do, and somebody's always preparing, training. It's a 24-hour process, right?
It's very much a 24-hour process on board. There's personnel on watch around the clock, and we exercise the ship and ourselves to be prepared for every possible mission set. What we're out here doing when we're off the coast of the United States is preparing for our real missions when we deploy. And so that includes training of ourselves. It includes qualifying new sailors when they arrive to submarine. Both sailors that this is their first submarine and sailors that have been on several submarines before that. It includes building proficiency in certain skill sets, and it includes a variety of items that we try and balance day to day, but it's a full 24-hour day. There's not just something going on all 24 hours, there's multiple things going on all 24 hours, and we try and take every opportunity to use each day we get at sea to maximize the operations of the ship and the experience that we gain. We don't get to be at sea every day. There's the opportunities to get prepared to do our job overseas are extremely important to making sure that we're well prepared when the time comes.
It seems like the crew, and we've been interacting with them, they work so well together. It's a well-oiled machine.
I'm extremely proud of the crew. They're a great group of guys. Couldn't be more pleased with the team I have on board California. They work extremely well together. If you can imagine taking 130 plus individuals and putting them together for over 6 months with no break from each other, it's really a brotherhood that forms on board. And they do a great job working together. They do a great job ensuring that they develop each other, train each other, become the best team that we can be day in and day out, as well as continuing to professionally develop each individual. And one of the things that I enjoy most is seeing the crew help each other to get to each individual next career milestone. As they work together to achieve those milestones, it makes us stronger as a team. And it really is pretty fascinating to see how impressively they change from day to day, and as we get ready for a deployment, how quickly we kind of bond together as a team.
What should, we're here, we're on the ship, it's an amazing experience. What should the people at home know? Who can't come and do this?
I think what they should know is the crew takes a lot of pride in what they do. The crew is excited to be out here serving their country. The crew's excited to be out here defending freedom. And I think it's also important to recognize the families. The families make a great sacrifice. We've got a great group of families on California who commit their lives to their husbands, sons, brothers, and fathers serving their nation. And it's, quite frankly, it's the families at home that make the bigger sacrifice. And they are extremely proud of California. They're extremely proud of their sailor, and just really happy to be a service to the country.
Do you know if this is one of the more expensive pieces of equipment the military owns? It's like $2.5 billion.
Not really my area of expertise on exactly what the cost of the submarine is. It's an impressive piece of equipment. As you've seen while being on board here today, it's top-notch technology. We make sure that we have the best equipment available. We expend great efforts to make sure all the equipment is maintained at a very high level of operating condition, and we train the operators very well to ensure that they're ready to do their job and are ready to respond to any possible tasking and any possible casualty that may occur. As far as comparison to other military technologies or other military capabilities, I could definitely refer you to someone else for that response, but that's not my area of expertise.
Okay. We talked a little bit on the bridge about women coming into submarines. And I know there's none on this one, but there's some on other subs. Do you know if that's something that's going to be on this particular submarine at some point?
The Women in Submarines initiative is very exciting. In my last job, I had the opportunity to observe most of the boats on the East Coast that are stationed on the East Coast, and all of the ones that currently have women serving on board. The women are doing an outstanding job in their roles on board. Submarine Force is looking to recruit the best talent they can recruit day in and day out, year in and year out, and bringing women to our community has definitely been a positive impact, and we're looking forward to expanding that.
Does it make it more competitive?
It absolutely makes it more competitive. The guys and the women and the men both very much enjoy the healthy competition, the camaraderie, the teamwork, and it's been a very welcome and wonderful transition.
Do you know if there's any type of changes that would have to be made to a submarine for women to come aboard?
The women serving on submarines right now, very similar to California, other Virginia-class submarines. There haven't been any modifications to those submarines. The women are serving comfortably alongside the men and serving their country proudly, just as the men do. As far as any future modifications, again, not really my area of expertise, but I could refer you to the right people.
Okay.
How deep?
They get their own bunks. People are more understand it, not like bunking alongside.
Oh yeah, women wouldn't bunk alongside men, correct?
As the submarines are currently designed, and the women that are on board submarines, other Virginia-class submarines, no, they have their own berthing. They don't bunk alongside.
Okay, so there would be obviously separate facilities.
Yep. Just as you and the other women on board today have a separate berthing, the women that are permanently stationed on board submarines have separate berthing.
So there wouldn't be any added stuff. You guys would be separated, basically.
That is, yes. Currently, the way the women on board submarines are berthed is they're separate from the men.
Okay, and then my other question is a different subject. Have you ever served on a different submarine?
I have. I've served on 4 submarines in my career.
Okay. What's the changes that you've seen from those to this one?
Yeah, the changes over the last 20 years in submarining have been impressive. Tactical changes on the way we operate the submarines, technological changes in the equipment we have available to us. The sonar systems and the combat control systems that you've seen here today are far advanced from what I had on my first submarine. In addition to the combat control systems and the sonar systems, you've seen the ship's control system that you've seen that has the ability to operate in automatic. That's a new technology developed with Virginia class, and we're constantly looking for newer and newer technology. The submarine force and the Navy and the technical community that supports us is looking to design the next best submarine on a regular basis to make sure that we stay peaked and that we stay at the top of competition in submarining around the world.
Come. Down there.
How you doing? Oh.
That's your only source of fresh air right now.
Wow. All right. Okay, well, I'm ready.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I'm shooting.